Let the adventure begin!
Turn it off. I'm sleeping here. What is it? Who's there?
You could criticize the Wii U for a lot of things, but there's one thing Nintendo deserves serious credit for, and that was the launch of the eShop. For months, some of the best Wii U games were downloadable Wii U games. To an extent, they still are. Little Inferno, Runner 2, Nano Assault. It's a pretty little batch of games, and this one might be the prettiest of all.
I demand to know what's happening. The TRINE. Not this again. Pontius.
Amadeus, get your things! We need to save the kingdom!
Well, TRINE 2 is obviously a 2D platformer, but the beauty is in the details and the graphics. This is a beautiful journey through a storybook world, filled with wicked goblins and lush forests, a place where snails grow as large as boulders, and the vines come to life.
Blasted weeds! I'll show you what for! I'm Pontius the Brave, and I won't fall in a battle with dandelions!
There are a lot of things to like about TRINE 2, but the game's calling card is the way it brings its world to life. Now, the graphics play a big role in that. This is a seriously pretty game, but the art is actually made more effective by the presentation. Your journey is described by a narrator, and his voice has this certain tone, a fairy tale quality that effectively turns TRINE 2 into a storybook in motion. There's something about the narration that makes the mystical waters and huge mushrooms and the tangled trees come to life.
Pontius had headed out that evening, for there was trouble on the peasant farms. Creeping vines were taking over the fields.
But you know, TRINE 2 is definitely more than just a pretty face. In fact, once you've gotten used to the graphics, you start to appreciate that TRINE 2 is also a really clever puzzle platformer. And when the puzzles start to take center stage, that's when things really start to get magical. You play TRINE 2 as a trio of characters: a wizard, a nimble thief, and a battle-tested knight. Each of the three obviously has their own abilities and characteristics, and as you travel through TRINE's fairy tale world, you're free to switch between them as you wish. Use the wizard to conjure a block, and then switch to the thief to jump from it. And this dynamic plays a central role in the game's puzzles. But as pretty as it is, as clever as its puzzles are, there are areas in which TRINE 2 could have been tightened up, specifically in terms of its platforming and physics. This is just not a very tight platformer. It's a bit floaty at times, jumping feels kind of heavy. If you play New Super Mario Bros. U, for example, and then switch over to TRINE 2, the looseness is immediately apparent. Now, it doesn't ruin things, but it does make the game less great as a platformer. But of course, this is the director's cut on Wii U, which means you're getting TRINE 2, as well as lots of extra content. The Goblin Menace expansion pack is included on Wii U, which is awesome. There's also a brand new level exclusive to the Wii U, not to mention the gamepad. Having a world this beautiful right in the palm of your hands, especially given its storybook-like nature, is just such a treat. Now, it's not exactly clear skies for TRINE 2, but when the sun's shining this bright, a few clouds are hardly a deal breaker. It's not the perfect game, but if you're looking for a world to escape to on your Wii U, there's no better destination than the gorgeous, magical world of TRINE 2.
This water is really powerful. I ought to see if it works on potatoes as well.